This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more. What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 231 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. I am your host and technical support, Alex Arona. Getty is out, and I am connecting wires. I am flipping the switches. I know binary addressing.
Is that a real thing?
Yes. Yes, it is. Yep. And we're reanimating my computer's corpse just in time to play Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Lenovo's not happy with me, as I'm calling with them with this problem of this PC. With me this week is co-host and the man who wants to spread his masochism to others, Joel DeWitte.
Let me tell you about my Lord Savior, Arthur. He has 3 different sets, the Father, the Son, and the Gold Armor. And you do not want that axe. The axe is not a good weapon.
I don't.
Neither is the fire. You know, the torches there that you toss and just burns on the ground?
Sure.
They're real... Yeah, you didn't last that long, did
you? No, I did not get that far. I'm not good at Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I'm not good at that game.
Disappointment.
Yeah. And, I prefer Marvel vs. Capcom 3. He's a good character in that. Oh, yeah. And also with us this week is my giant bomb couchmate and deputy editor, not the sheriff, of Inverse.com, Shannon. Shannon, it's Liao?
Liao. Yeah, you got it.
Awesome. Liao. Hey, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. Super excited to talk to you all about the games that you're playing.
Yeah. We try to find some of the weird, strange ones and see how, what we can find out that's really out there. We like AAA, but at the same time, I like a new idea. I like something that I've never heard of before, or spinning an idea on its head. And we did that this week. It's awesome.
Yeah, those are the exciting and fun ones, I think. And we're always looking for more stories like that at Inverse, so happy to also talk about those and see where things go.
Sure. Now, hold on. We're kind of bearing the lead here. You are the deputy editor at Inverse.com. Tell me what is Inverse for people who don't know.
Yeah, so it's the reverse, the inside out. No, I'm kidding. It's just
the upside down.
It's entertainment. Yeah, right. Stranger Things. Upside down. Entertainment, tech, blog, and also gaming. I think gaming has been there the longest. You've seen us at Summer Game Fest, other events like that. We're also Game Awards judges. So just it's me, 3 writers, a very scrappy team putting together our Game of the Year picks and other fun stuff like that. And I'm just now in charge of who else gets to write for us, and hoping to put out more reported features and just deep dives into the world of gaming, because I feel like there are so many stories that people haven't told yet.
Oh, absolutely. We every once in a while, we're not really news breakers as much, but we do every once in a while hear a story and we're just this is, I would love to talk about this somewhere, but this is not the spot for it. Because there's definitely some interesting stuff. We've met and talked to interesting developers that are just wow, you got some stuff going on.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping. Well, if you ever hear of other stories like that, now you have a line open to us, and we're down to take on any story. So,
hell yeah,
Alex, you got your way out now.
Yes,
you have your
trying to get out of this
exit ladder.
If Jeff Grubb doesn't work and me doing Grub snacks in the morning, then I can always go to Inverse.com. Let's do that.
Yes, there you go. We don't have a YouTube channel.
Oh, see, how's your TikTok? Joel's really good at making real silly TikToks.
Yeah, we are always looking for more people. Our TikTok actually has 7 million followers, which is a surprising number. And we now have a new intern, so I'm gonna fly out to LA and see them there, and we're gonna make TikToks. So if you happen to be in the area, I'm happy to hop on, or like collaborate somehow.
Hell yeah! All right, yeah, we could definitely make something like that happen. But this week, we announced an announcement in the news. Who wrote this? I have a preview of Game of the Year, but first, early adopters, where we play alphas, betas, and Joel, stop adding links for the games we didn't prepare for. I picked 2 games an episode, Joel. Who keeps adding more?
I put that as an optional, not obligated to anybody else. Just like a little, let's say stretch goal. A stretch goal for me.
Okay. I put it in next week, but I mean, again, if you want to talk about it this week, you can. I definitely only played the 2. I played Aureole, Wings of Hope.
Yes, I played that too, and the second one I wanted to play, it just wouldn't let me download it. But
that's fine. Don't even worry about it. But Aureole, Wings of Hope is kind of your Sonic the Hedgehog, but
I would say that
you're the ring, right? Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you get you get a dash, and then you also get the Sonic spin dash when you're on the ground. So you get an air dash and a Sonic spin dash. When you're in the air, you can only do the stop and like direct yourself at a different angle dash 2 times, and after that you are out until you touch the ground again. And you're spin dashing and platforming and moving and avoiding all of these different spikes in the ground and pitfalls and
Traps.
Yeah, you're an angel, and apparently 2 angels can, like, one person can turn into something, and the other person can help them. So one angel turns into a ring, and the other one helps direct them. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Shannon, what did you think of this?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good description. Although, like, anyone who's not played this game will be like, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, you are the ring. I think it's like, a good way to like save on graphics. Probably any computer can run this, and then it was really hard for me at first. I kept dying immediately. Then I was like, oh, it's kind of like Flappy Bird. But I don't know. I didn't get too far into it. I think it's all about timing and skill. I want to see someone who like really is really skilled at this, like speed run it. That would be fun for me.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming out Q1 of 2024, so by then we can hopefully get a games done quick on it. Just because it's so fascinating watching just like a weird inanimate ring like charge up a spin dash. And you hear the sound effect too. It's like, this is really weird. Joel, what did you think?
I'm not going to be a speed runner, but I was able to get through the demo here. It's funny. It's all described really well, but there's also weird shades of almost like a mini golf game in that you have a couple jumps. They almost act like you're having 2 strokes. And the way it's used is interesting in these because you'll end up going off a cliff, but then there'll be a wall, and you'll need to time your second jump to be when you're under there to jump up. And the way it's not quite a freeze frame, but it slows down time when you're aiming it as well, which gives you those brief pauses and moments. I liked Sonic games. I wanted to hammer on the spin dash, but then because I didn't know what was coming, I would die and need to start over. And mercifully, it is a quick reload, so it takes half a second to pop back up, that you go to the last checkpoint you're at, and you're right back off to the races with it. So
yeah, I need to say, like, the MVP of this game is the checkpoints where you like destroy a statue and you can like pop back to that statue when you've died. It's so helpful. If it made me restart the whole level, I would like rage quit the game. So
well, it depends. If you got a little bit if further down, there's some big gaps between checkpoints, because there was a couple where it like sometimes it'll drag the camera across the stage all the way back, but there was a couple where I died and it just like, nope, cut to black, reload, here you go, all right, your checkpoint. I'm like, oh, that just feels like it's just like, no, we're not even gonna bother. We're not gonna bother to show you the camera. You're too far gone.
Something similar happens at the start if you die at the beginning, where instead of just zipping you right at the start, you'll have to go through that same intro, because they'll have like a 5 or 10 second intro where they're emblazoning some words on the screen, maybe some character dialogue. So you get punished if you lose early.
Yeah. So there was a little bit of punishment here and there, but I do feel like you can get into a groove. There's later rounds where the way they play with it is it's all black. It'll be like completely all you see is silhouette, and you're just kind of guessing, hoping that you're like, okay, I hope there's no spikes here, or I hope there's a pit. And sometimes there's just something completely shooting, like blocking your vision, and you have to kind of shoot your character in different directions just in hope that, okay, I think there's no wall here, I'm going to shoot through. And then it comes out the other side because, again, all silhouettes. It was a neat effect. It was. I've seen it in other games, but in this case, it was pretty fun. I thought that was an interesting way to play with it. I see later on there's going to be, spin dashing on water. There's going to be all sorts of other different challenges, and I think that's a pretty cool idea to add all these different effects. Lava, black and white, water. Skimming across the very top of the water and stuff like that.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I definitely see like the maybe golf influence of like it's like almost turn based when you're clicking, and it's frozen.
I think Cursed to Golf is sort of what burned the back of my head. So
Yeah, but see, the thing is I want to go fast. You got to go fast.
Until you hit about the third
like...
or fourth zone, and then you need to slow down.
Oh yeah, and or like again, you're on that second dash, and you're like, well, this is my last one. Gotta hit the ground.
Yeah, I play the game completely differently from you, Alex. I just like slowly tap my way through each platform very meticulously, so I can peacefully make it to the end.
Well,
I mean, I died a bunch. I died like a lot.
The trick is to play the same game over and over again, so it's just like muscle memory. And then people will wonder why you're so good at a Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Yeah, this could be a neat party trick that you whip out.
Yeah, they call you Sonic Pervs.
I don't like that
Jeff
verbiage.
Jeff Grubb.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that one.
Well, the other game we played was called Europa. There have been, I want to say, at least 3 different games this year that have kind of had this like this more of like a majestic. I'm on this is beautiful mountains and meadows, and you're just kind of exploring the world. Planet of Lana, Seasons: A Letter to the Future, and this one Europa, which comes out next year. It really is just like you're on this beautiful planet of crystal blue waters and just exploring. You get a backpack to hover with. All you're doing is walking around and just kind of getting lore about the world and exploring and finding little secrets here and there. I think I really kind of was just in love with the majesty of it. Joel, what did you think?
So this is at its core 3D exploration / platformer game, wide open spaces for the most part. It is a beautiful world, and it's funny that the aesthetic of sort of faux Wind Waker kind of look, where it's that kind of what is that effect called? Cell shading.
Oh yeah, cell shading.
But the funny thing is, it also intersects with this detailed flooring, and it's not like hyper realistic or anything, but the flowing grass almost reminded me a little bit of like Flower, and how you saw like the individual blades sort of flowing as you walked through and stuff. The movement, it's a nice floaty jump system, so you got a jump where if you hold it in, you jump higher, but there's also a float item that I think is tied to the backpack, where you'll hold down the trigger and you will just start going vertically up until you run out, and you will either drop hard, or if you hold down the jump button, you'll have a glide, and it'll just be a nice smooth glide. Think something like a short hike, that kind of really really smooth feeling, but almost like you're falling with it. But it was a joy to explore. They dole out the story in bits of pages from a notebook from your father.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and more or less, you are a transplant from Earth to Europa, which is like a moon outside of Jupiter.
Right.
And
yep.
I don't know my astronomy.
No, you're right. You're right. And
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And at this, I mean, let's spin up the Google machine, right?
But don't do that. But it's really charming, and the story is told in little bits and papers, and your father's talking about how, you know, I brought you to this place and hope for a better life, and here there'll be greenery and living things and people for you to play with, and it'll be a better place for a kid than where we left and stuff. So it's got that emptiness of a journey or a Shadow of the Colossus kind of thing, where the scope is huge and you're kind of just watching around quietly. But they do a lot of great work in kind of building the world through that text, and it's really not a lot of text, so I was pretty impressed with that as well.
Wow. Yeah, no, I should definitely check out this game. I don't know what was happening with my Steam. It was like saying there's no internet connection. But that sounds really beautiful. I think there's like something to be said about this trend of cozy games coming out. Like while the two of you were talking, I was just watching the trailer, just like witnessing this like very gorgeous looking game where you're floating. And I think there's like a theme with these two games of like you're just always somebody flying or you're some object in the air going up and down.
Yeah.
What's with this podcast and flying. But yeah, I mean, I think this looks really nice. And I think the whole idea of like reading lore on little pieces of paper is something that I don't know. I find it to be charming in games.
It could be very relaxing, and I would hate to call this a walking simulator because
No.
I mean,
Flying simulator.
well, I mean.
I mean, if you want to be reductive, Mario is a walking simulator.
Well, what I mean though is that you're going from point to
Jumping.
point unlocking lore, and there isn't a ton of like you don't like we're over here jetpacking, like having a great time because we want to, not necessarily what the game needs you to do. The game could have you go point to point. I think that we're finding the fun in exploring what we think is beautiful, and that's good. It made the game a lot more fun. And I don't want to be reductive, but at the same time, it's like I don't know if there is much more, but except for like a really in-depth story, and I'm excited to learn that story. So I think it's more about the story here than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know in the demo. Do you see why the animals are flying up in the air too? That would look kind of weird from the trailer.
No.
I have not seen, not yet, not in the demo.
Okay.
Not in the demo.
Got
'Cause
it.
I definitely got to the end of the demo, and I did not see anything like that. But there is a
Very
lot
cool.
to it, and I'd be more again. I've wish list this one. This one looks excellent, and I'm very excited for it. So
Yeah, you just put this on my radar. I'm definitely gonna have someone write about this, if not write about it myself.
So that is that is Europa. We got Aureole of Wings of Hope and Europa. Double wish list on my end. What do you think, Joel?
Same. They're both well crafted games, but Europa really just sort of caught my eye, and I walked away impressed with that one.
Awesome. And then we got him on your radar, right, Shannon?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm always looking for things that like kind of break the mold, and these are both unusual and fun, inventive ways. So yeah.
Awesome. So with that, we're gonna take our first break. That was a lot. That was a lot of good stuff. I'm very excited. It's very rare we get a 2 for 2. So let's just bask in the glory of our ever increasing wish lists. We'll be right back. Hey, news. Are you an announcement of an announcement? Because I'm tired of. I don't know what is it. I'm tired of you. I don't. What is it? You're talking about. Okay, an announcement. Why do we have announcements of announcements? It's like having a teaser for a teaser, or like, I've seen that where like people have done like a trailer for a trailer, right? That's what teasers are, right? At this point,
Sure.
crickets.
Let's say that.
Can I blame Marvel?
You know what? You can. Because Rockstar is announcing that the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer will be released in December. What a teaser.
It's a good point,
Yeah.
honestly. There's no trailer, actually.
Well, I don't know. Going down this list, Mass Effect teases new game as well, and what we got was like a character model for like a split second. But
Yeah.
you got to give something for N7 Day. Liara's going to be in the game. Liara's in the game.
Are you a big Mass Effect person?
I played the remastered version. I am not done with it, but it is super fun.
Okay.
Which one, though?
Which one? The first one.
I was like, there's 3 of them.
She said the remastered version, but
No, but they did remaster the whole trilogy.
Okay, I started at the beginning and I didn't finish it. So the first one.
Googling. Yeah, it's the Legendary Edition. It has all 3.
okay.
Thought.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So
No, it's fine.
Those
The
games are
beginning
real good,
of the remastered version is the first one, so we're still
okay,
good.
all right.
Telling me. I played Mass Effect. I played it the one time. Zelda movie announcement. Okay, who's Link? My vote is Timothy Chalamet.
Oh god,
He looks like he's 12.
that's so funny because in our inverse article we called him a small twink.
Yeah.
So I guess that's like Timothy Chalamet. There we go.
That's what's
Perfect.
isn't that what Link is? It's kind of a small little form factor, tiny little fit in most overhead storage bins.
It depends. Sometimes he's a child.
That's what I'm talking about. When he's a child, little tiny, and also when he's an adult,
just-
he's still kind of tiny, right?
He's just a little guy.
Yeah, he's not
but-
beefy, right?
No, haven't
No.
seen
So who's your Link pick?
me.
Yeah, anybody.
Oh,
throw something out.
I don't know
can-
enough small
Can we
children.
go back 12 years ago and take Haley Joel Osment? Like you think about Sixth Sense?
His face is too round.
I feel like that shouldn't be a deal breaker.
Does Link have a round face? What do you think, Shannon?
You know, you're right. It's more chiseled,
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah, you need like a chiseled child face. I don't know. I thought the Home Alone child, what's his name again, would have been a great actor. many years
Macaulay
ago.
Culkin?
Yes, Macaulay Culkin.
He's still a good actor. I don't know what you're talking about. He's a good actor.
Okay, he could go back and be Link currently.
Oh, okay.
That's
think?
not a bad choice.
Could he pull it off now?
Yeah, like I mean, even like having an adult, Rory Culkin's real good, right? He's real hot right now. Rory Culkin's real hot right now. He was in Succession.
Oh yes, that's what I was thinking of. He should also be Link. There should be 2 Links.
Give me a Gandalf. Who you got? Not Gandalf. Ganondorf. G ends in an F. I'm off on that one.
Dave
I
Bautista.
realize it.
I don't know.
I admit it. What?
Batista. Sure. Ganondorf's pretty big.
Jason Momoa?
That's a
Do
good
you know what? I
choice.
was thinking Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
From Fast 10, Joel.
Yeah.
Fast 10. You just now saw that series.
The best thing about that movie.
Jason Momoa just being real flamboyant, and he's got the little man bun. Nailed it.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
No, keep going. You got anybody else?
Oh, I was just gonna say that the people that write for me don't think this is a good idea because they think Link, live action Link is just gonna be like not funny or weird because he doesn't speak much and he's supposed to be you as a person in real life, not a character played by an actor. So
I think that you just need like generic hero kid / hero young person.
yeah.
Wally's first third of a movie is pretty much no talking, right?
Yep.
But I mean, Wally says Wally, so Link
Oh.
would have to say Link. That might get a little weird.
Again, I think of generic like young hero person that kind of looks super young, and the skinny face, and I think Timothy Chalamet.
The common suggestion I've always heard from my wife is it should be like the Lord of the Rings, in a way, which that's probably our biases a little bit, but like the high fantasy they should focus on, I think, a little bit if they're to be live action. But there's so many angles they can take with this movie, right? Like aesthetically, what are they going to choose it to be like? What's the story structure going to be? If it's going to lend off of one of the other games versus, say, Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask or what have you. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a problem with it being live action. I'm not sure that I'd want it to be animation, to be honest. Because I think that's just... I feel like it's rooted in something a little more realistic than Mario.
Yeah, and I think that, again, you would just make it like, the high fantasy stuff. You could make a journey across the lands to do the thing, end of story, right? And then, finish this whole thing, and then twist. Okay, sequel. Here's the end credit, after credits.
You just described, like, most of these movies.
It's almost like
there's a formula.
There's a formula. Yeah, there's a formula.
Oh, man.
It's the hero's
Keeping it
journey.
going.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, the hero's journey, right? The beginning, he doesn't really want to do it. Link, you got to do it. No, I don't want to do it. And then something happens and he's got to do it.
All right, it's like you don't even need to watch the movie.
Cut the check.
We know.
Cut the check. All right, keeping it going. Steam Deck OLED was announced, and people got their hands on. Footage is out. I'm good with my Steam Deck. Shannon, what do you feel? What are your thoughts on Steam Decks and OLEDs?
So I have a Steam Deck. I also have the Switch, and the Switch OLED. I got to try that as well, and I think it's just like predictable that there would be a Steam Deck OLED. I don't have it yet. I just emailed Valve today hey, I see that this is out now. Can I have one for a review? But yeah, I don't think it's necessary. It's just good for, if you're hardcore, you need a larger screen. Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Do you like the other parts? It's quieter. It's less heat intensive. There's a couple other things in there that people are kind of raving about, but it's hard because I was absolutely oh yeah, that's stupid, but I also went out and got a Switch OLED right away. And I was screw the old crap, I'm getting a new one of these. So
Oh, that's funny. I do have 2-3 Switches. I definitely want the upgrade, of course. It's just more of I guess if you don't really need it, it's just nice to have.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of Steam, they're letting you hide your porn games now. Getty. You can hide your porn games now. I thought you could have already hid your porn games.
I don't know if I should admit this on this podcast, but having a lot of random games that I didn't want my friends to look at and see, I just have looked into this previously, and I was how do I hide them? And they're just publicly available by default. Everyone can see all your games by default, so you really have to dig into your settings normally. So this is well needed, I think.
This is a welcome. What is it? Getty, or one of our co-hosts, is not here this week. We have a beat list, games that we've beaten throughout the year that we keep track of, and I'll see stuff on his, and I'm oh, what is that game? And I'll Google it and be oh no. Oh, I shouldn't have Googled that. I regret that. So,
yeah, no, Markiplier is featured in one of these games that I played that you just have to keep clicking on them over time, and then I'm just I need to hide this game because I don't want people to ask me what it is. It was very annoying. So that's my justification for needing to figure this out before this news came out.
I don't know. Doja Cat is in that house party game. That's also a weird one.
I need to check that out.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to keep news happy right at this exact second. Okay. Dead by Daylight gets Chucky. That's a cool. I have a friend who doesn't game very much, and he's told me, he goes, "Oh, I got into that Texas Chainsaw game," and I was I don't know if that was the right move.
That's
Like, you should just do Dead by Daylight, man. Because all of the games that they make, they have problems with licensing, and then they end up like there's been multiple other like competitions to it, right?
Friday the 13th was a big one, and I know somebody personally who was very sad that they discontinued that because of the licensing issues.
They just discontinued Evil Dead.
Yeah.
So it's like they're just going to keep doing this, and he's already said that they're having problems at Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the game's been out less than a year. He doesn't buy many games, so he's like, "Oh man, thought this was gonna be cool." I'm like, "Just get Dead by Daylight, man."
It was fun on the first weekend it was out. I mean, when there was lobbies of people to play with. I'm not sure what the community is now, but be nice to that game. It did nothing to you.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying is that Dead by Daylight has like just constant updates. It's been going for so long. It's become it's the Fortnite horror game, and I think that's pretty cool. Like to, be able to play as the guy from Scream or the alien, right? Xenomorph, and then play as Ripley has been in a bunch of games, hasn't she? Like Ripley was a Fortnite skin. And then also a bunch of numerous Alien games as well. So it's like, man, that character gets around. Let's see. Risk of Rain goes 1.0. Risk of Rain remake. Have you guys heard of Risk of Rain and the remake?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to check this out. I mean, Dead by Daylight and Risk of Rain for me, like the two of them were like big multiplayer games in the pandemic, and like a lot of friends were playing them. So I associate them together. But yeah, Risk of Rain was a really fun game. The remaster or the 10-year anniversary, whatever. I want to check all of that out.
Yeah. So this is It's called Risk of Rain Returns, and it's back to better than ever. Let's see, fully unique comment. New survivors, overhauled multiplayer, and fan favorite content from Risk of Rain 2. They really upgraded it. It is not just like it looked to be when it first came out. It was like 8-bit, and now it's definitely got much more bits than that. It's pretty cool.
Oh, the first one's 2D.
Oh yeah, you didn't know that?
No, because we played 2, and that was a 3D, almost like arena kind of thing.
Oh no, that's what was funny about it is that 2 is just 3D. I mean, 1 you're still like just in a platforming 2D arena.
Okay.
You're still limited. You're still moving around. There's still a timer. All like even the power ups are pretty close to the same. It was just interesting to have it be like, oh, okay, now it's full 3D. And so the stuff that they added to 2 that was different from 1, they're now adding back into 1 in Risk of Rain Returns.
Oh, cool. Whenever I think of this, I think of like Maple Story 1 versus 2. 1 is 2D and 2 is 3D. Just interesting to change dimensions.
Yeah, it's taking spinning it out from the 2D and like just okay, now it's fully three-dimensional.
Maple Story. Yeah, I have a Maple Story tattoo. Very into that game.
Oh, okay. It's from 2012. All right.
Yeah.
So it's been
Maple
a minute.
Story's classic.
All right.
Oh, there's your character. I see it. Yeah, on your arm.
The mushroom.
That's cool.
Yeah, everyone thinks this mushroom is from Super Mario. They're like, do you eat this mushroom to get powerful? And I'm like, no, do not eat this guy. He's not edible.
That's awesome. Let's see. Semi-sad news. Escapist, their entire video team has left, and they formed Second Wind. Second Wind, which is going to be like more of like a fully featured, almost like more video content than anything else. Obviously, they were the video team. So we got Yahtzee Crenshaw, which was like the big name. Marty Sleva, formerly of IGN. And a bunch of the whole video team from Escapist. And they started announcing and doing live streams today. And that's been pretty cool. Unfortunately, they're going to see what happens with anything if they're going to do another format of like zero punctuation or if that's like just gone now. I like zero punctuation.
It is crazy we're in a world where sub 24 hours of resigning, you can already have something set up and raring to go right off the date, right? It's impressive the kind of turnaround you can have from that situation.
I mean, but if listening to that live stream, the guy who started it all up was like, "Yeah, I haven't slept in 3 days."
Oh, I imagine it's terrifying. Don't get me wrong. I suppose necessity sort of breeds that kind of action, right?
Well, yeah, that and like because you got to like find someone to spin up art, and you got to start getting social media accounts and blah blah blah. So that's more
Yeah.
what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't looked into the details of this one, but like, with like Vice and Waypoint, it was like they already knew many months in advance, and so they could plan ahead. And maybe it's like something similar where you like at least you have some sort of signs like things are not going well, so you just have your backup plan.
Yeah, in this case, they had said that they were building the Patreon, and they like didn't even have like full, like they didn't have any bios, any information, nothing, and someone had already subscribed.
Nice.
So that's got to be nice. Along with that, a bunch of people over who have former Kotaku people have created Aftermath. Aftermath is what seems to be a little bit more written than anything else, but it's more about just getting the more like the nuanced video game critiques, more personality driven. The kind of name I know a little bit more out of this was Gita Jackson. But looks like they're doing a podcast. They're doing more comics and movie stuff, board games, but for the most part, it is a lot of writing, which is good. Which is like it's like you have Aftermath doing just like tons and tons of video, and then you have Second Wind doing tons and tons of video. Then you have Aftermath doing a lot more writing, and it's like, oh, okay, so there is like a spot for everything, whatever you're looking for.
Yeah. Go on.
I appreciate how many websites are still trying to preserve the written word a little bit in the age of lots of video content. Number one, my personal experience is that practicing writing helps you in your general communication. But then two, I think there's a lot more that can be said in more of like an essay format than trying to rattle things off in a video in a certain formatting, right? So I saw that. I was happy to see when Remap, I think they recently announced that they were going to do a lot more writing on that front, so I thought that was really cool.
That's true. Yeah, Remap is where, what was it? That was Vice, right?
Yeah, that was
Right.
Waypoint.
Yeah,
Turned
Waypoint.
into Repap. Yeah. I mean, I was offered to like work on some of these projects, and basically like I think writing. I think if you look at digital media, it's like pivoted to video many times, and then also like gone back on that and had layoffs. And I think like writing essays and then also making some videos on the side is like the perfect balance, but can burn people out. I do feel like if you are busy at work and you want to like digest information quickly, you might not want to watch a video. You might want to just like skim an essay. So it's all situational. So it's good to have both.
Example
Yeah.
we always have is walkthroughs used to be always like a huge text file online,
Yep.
and a lot of them had gone to videos. So I got used to doing like a Control F to try to find in a walkthrough the section I needed to be on.
Big ASCII
Yep.
logo.
Yep.
Yeah, that's also true. Sometimes I'm like, I've already played through this part of the game. Get me to the actual part I need. So.
All right, so that is that, and now going full into like just sad news.
Okay.
Night in the Woods sequel has been canceled. The developer has gotten he's gotten very sick, and so he is no longer able to work on the game. And as far as the development is, as far as the actual team and the company, that's still unheard of. Like, they don't know what they're going to do yet. There's still plans to be made. But Night in the Woods sequel is canceled. I am very upset by that because that is a really one of my favorite indies. And I try to go back to that every once in a while. So I will replay it in solidarity.
Should probably finish that sometime.
Yes.
I would need to start over at this point, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's not.
Oh.
I don't think it's that long. It's not that long though. I don't think.
Well, the basic story at the start is just you're coming home, and now you live with the consequences. I mean, I don't.
You dropped out of college. You dropped out of college.
Okay, that's what happened. Yeah, I was murky about the circumstances of your return.
Yeah, you dropped out of college, and then it's but like if you've ever been the person that goes back to your hometown, Rachel, what's that like, right?
Yeah.
And then
Thanks,
you
yeah.
see all the townies, the people who didn't leave, and it's like, wow, what happened that you didn't leave? And you see this, but then you're also like, crap, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
So what happened that I'm
So what happened
back?
to me? Yeah.
I definitely have. I moved back into my old town for a little bit, and I remember going to the local bar and seeing a lot of different people. There was one guy who was like, "Hey, I know you from high school," and I'm like, "I don't recognize you at all." And he goes, "I was the ICP kid," and I'm like, "Oh, right." You know, the kid who just really liked Insane Clown Posse, dressed the part, and wore a bunch of makeup and
had
giant Jinko jeans.
Had the hatchet.
But
Man
they're not like that
tattoo
anymore.
Yeah. And I go, "Oh, I remember you now." He goes, "Yeah, I grew up," and I'm like, "Cool."
So he changed his whole look and expected you to remember him. Like
It's more that his personality wasn't based on the Insane Clown Posse anymore.
Oh, he just gave up the dream.
Is it the dream, Joel?
It's the dream for you.
It's someone's dream. I mean,
We're gonna skip over this one, and so like. The closures are hard, possible studio closures with Free Radicals of Time Splitters fame from Embracer, which has been like the story for a while, just because if you think about it, Embracer bought up all these studios and also now just started realizing that, hey, this is expensive. This is a lot of money that's not recouping any of the money back. But I hope Time Splitters can continue.
Yeah, a lot of layoffs this week too, so...
It's been like the last 2 months.
The whole year, yeah.
Yep. Now here's the real. I don't want to downplay that. No, here's some more sad news. Sony has confirmed they had 12 live service games, and 6 of them have been delayed to 2026. Oh boy! And Warner Brothers has also confirmed they're focusing all their big franchises to live service games. Joel, were you tired of live service games yet? Shannon, were you tired of live service games yet?
Yeah. We actually just published this story, saying my writer is very tired of them, and this news is actually we don't know which 6 games they've delayed, but maybe it could be The Last of Us Part 2, Last of Us multiplayer version. And so now the headline of our article reads "We are tired of The Last of Us. We don't want any more of these." But I personally would like to play that game, so I didn't really agree, but other people may feel differently.
I've already naturally been pushed out of the AAA space a lot with just time constraints, and truthfully, it's been better for it. A lot of the really creative, interesting stuff is coming out of the space that we hang out in. And so I appreciate being able to have these sort of quick fire experiences. I do miss the days of Destiny where I would go out there, do my dailies, my weeklies, my instances, and eventually be able to get a strike team going for a few instances, But it's one of those, I think my day has come and passed for that stuff, so...
I still want to get back into I'm still man, I just want to pick one game and that's the game I'm going to play. And we're only going to play that game. Joel, let's play Payday 3.
I want to see this.
Why do you want to force this?
Because Payday 3 rules, man. Game rips, and let's play that. What is it? Or we can play the one about where you're shooting dinosaurs. That was an okay one.
Second Extinction?
Oh, yeah.
Was that it? No.
There was Second Extinction. There's also another one too.
I saw the trailer. I don't know.
There's a lot of dino shooting now. Not enough dino preservation.
It's a new thing.
All the dino.
Definitely.
Okay, freebies.
Freebies.
Time for the freebies. We got a bunch of freebies this week. First freebie is Death by AI. That one comes out of deathbyai.gg. That's a website where you and your friends play Jackbox-style survival games while an AI judges and murders you one by one. Death by AI at deathbyai.gg. Golden Light on Epic Game Store. This is a real weird one. I reviewed this game. This is a procedurally generated roguelike first-person shooter that doesn't give you a whole lot of explanation except for you're going into what feels like a world made out of meat. And you're shooting and fighting enemies and progressing down these different elevators. It's really short, but at the same time, it seems like the more you kill, the more the levels get angry at you. So if you just go do your best to avoid enemies, you can kind of blast through it pretty fast. Next, Vivaldia 2 on Steam. Vivaldia is a 2D platformer, very much akin to, like, you know, a Sega Genesis game. Pitted against relentless robotic foes and navigating through dense and perilous jungles, scorching lava fields, and treacherous swamps. Vivaldia once again seems faced with impossible challenge. Gene Shift Auto. I believe I've spoken about this one. Top down, almost like Grand Theft Auto, the originals, but it is a battle royale. And lastly, Cryptarch. It's a 2D sci-fi shooter where you take on the role of a heavily armored privateer seeking to earn government contracts by boarding deadly alien space hulks. I believe we talked about this one a few weeks ago. This is a top-down bullet hell shooter. So, Cryptarch. Shannon, what is your favorite free game that you've played?
My favorite free game. That's a tough one. There are so many. Well, okay, there are so many free games. First of all, and second of all, because of my job, I usually get every game for free, so that I'm not like tracking which game I've paid for. Oh man, this is a tough one. I think like I really like. Okay, wait. I just thought of a game that I paid for, so that doesn't count. Yeah. This is almost impossible. I can't say it's League of Legends. It's definitely not League of Legends. Trying to think of like something from like Epic Game Store.
I like Apex Legend.
Yeah, I'm very bad at Apex. I can't really say that very well.
Mine was Overwatch 2 for a while.
Oh, there we go.
Rocket League. Do you count it being on PlayStation Plus?
We'll count it in the sake of this argument. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a real nice one. Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to think. Oh, Honkai Star Rail, but you have to pay for the random things in the store.
Oh, yeah, but no, my brother is like 30 hours into Honkai Star Rail. I mean, I've played like a little bit, but not as much as he has. That's a good one, though.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the freebies, and that's all the news. So we're going to take one more break, and then we're going to go into our backlog talking about Game of the Year. We'll be right back.
Nice.
And we're back with the Backlog Blog, where we play too many games, because man, this year destroyed us. Getty would have me say I'm a slave horse. I'm a workhorse, and I make everyone work for it because you got to play all these games. Joel, you're not playing enough games.
Check the beat list here. I'm not sure how much room you've got to talk. I think I'm one ahead of you. Yeah, I'm winning.
You are one ahead of me right now.
Yeah.
I am at 34 games. You are at 35 games. And Getty has beaten 45 games this year. Jesus.
And so many of his games are 10, 20, 30-hour games, too. There's a Star Ocean. Getty... Persona 5 Royal.
What?
Star Ocean.
Wait, he beat the... he beat the first one.
Yeah.
He did. Okay.
This conversation is triggering me.
Oh, no. Hold on. We have a worse one. There was one year I made it a competition, and our co-host Getty he thought that was very funny and laughed at me as he destroyed me with how many games he beat.
He thought it was cute you had a chance. Or,
I know.
Yeah, cute that you thought you had a chance. Yeah.
Oh, man.
The one year he got to 64 games, and I got to 54 games. Oh, that was a rough year.
So behind.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Not even close. Yeah.
Wow. One year I got to 60, and he got to 60. He got to 63. So he's got an average of like roughly around 60.
Jeez. Okay, I've never finished that many games in a year.
Well, my trick was that I would find 1 hour indie games, and I would be like, I beat it, counts, nailed it, moving on.
I can see why neither of you like live service games that much.
Well,
So what if you just play one game?
well, no, we love
Never-
them. I like them. Getty likes them, but it's just more like, yeah, I don't know. I got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
So, end of the year, there are a bunch of indie games that kind of flew under a lot of people's radar. I have a list here, but I also just want to hear what everyone's kind of looking forward to. What is still left for them? What is the plan? Are we going to knock some of these out? Thirsty Suitors, Dave the Diver,
Plan.
Killer Frequency, Cassette Beasts, Season, A Letter to the Future, Humanity, Dredge, Planet of Lana, Jusant, Gal Guardians Demon Purge, Meg's Monsters, 9 Years of Shadows, Vengeance of Mr. Peppermint, Viewfinder, Moons of Darsalon, World of Horror, and Chance of Sinar. That's a lot of... And I didn't even I'm not throwing in Hi-Fi Rush, which is also a great
Those
game.
are all on your list? Or
No.
okay.
No.
All right.
No.
This is everyone's list?
This is just like a list of games that kind of flew under the radar.
This is just a list that you threw together in preparation of today.
Well, you have to think about this. In a normal year, you get what? How many really good AAA games? 5? And then you fill out the rest with like some good solid indies. This year there were like 20 like A+, 10, rated 10 out of 10 AAA games. So it's like there's no room for indies here. So
That's true.
So I'm trying to think of some of the indies that we have played or liked or probably would possibly hit our list because otherwise if we're looking at what Spider-Man, Alan Wake 2, what was it, the
Baldur's Gate, Starfield.
yeah, what is the Armored Core 6?
Mm-hmm.
So Shannon, what about you? Have you played any of these indie games? How are you feeling about the state of indies this year?
Yeah, the state of indies is really strong. I mean, there are some that are not on this list that my writers have played, and they were like, those should deserve Game of the Year for indies.
Which ones?
So,
you got one?
it's not even on here. I can't remember all of them by name, but
Cosmic Star
Sisterhood?
Sisterhood.
Is it?
That was a good one.
Yep.
Star Sisterhood.
Joel
Yeah,
played
that's
that
a
one.
good
That's
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, and they're just so...
Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood.
there's
I apologize.
Yeah, okay, yeah. They're just more than that, too, that I can't pull up for you now, unfortunately. But, of this list, Thirsty Suitors I did play. I did write about that for the New York Times. And on the day that I started Inverse, my writer was like, yeah, I played that too, Shannon, and I hated it. So it's
Brutal.
not a good game. And I was like, what? It looks so good. The demo is really solid at Summer Game Fest. I don't know what happened. Maybe the rest of the game at the end is not as solid. But that's the one I know the most on this list. And also, Jusant obviously is mentioned, and Viewfinder is a solid one. And maybe Chance of Sinar.
I think the one that
ones to
we're
look out
real
for.
high on is, I can't remember, the Korean game. Joel, do you remember that one where you dive into people's minds?
Haunty? No.
No. I'm saying the game that we all played. It was at the beginning of the year,
Oh,
and I'm blanking.
did
now.
we actually beat that game? Just
I did, and I know you did. Yeah, you did too. Hold on, beat list. Yeah. Oh my god,
this
what
is
am I thinking of?
great listening.
Yeah, I know. Let's keep going here. Because I could
You've got
Space for the Unbound.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, it's I'm sure you and I have both played it, right?
Yeah, Getty did as
Yeah.
well. That's a very good one.
That is one that was. It looked great from the outset, from the announcement, but I found it really arresting in the story itself, and it was one of those games that left you with the hollow pit in your stomach of oh wait, now that there's this empty space, now that this is done, kind of stuff going on. So,
I know exactly what you're kind of feeling you're describing.
So that's what I got out of it. I think it's a pretty strong one. It's definitely going to be on my list.
I think that there was that one and Sea of Stars were they hit this podcast for every single one of us. We're like Space for the Unbound. We're like, oh god, we all have to, like, we're all just like constantly playing this. And then Sea of Stars, I think 2 out of the 4 of us 100%ed it, and all 4 of us beat it. We're like, this is a fantastic game.
I do want to bring up briefly Pentiment.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's last
Was
year.
that last
but
year?
Yes.
Darn it.
Yes, I reviewed that, and I kept telling everyone, make this game of the year.
Okay.
Make it.
Yeah. Okay, I played it this year. but it's
you're
a
fine.
spectacular
Developer,
game,
yeah.
and a great use of that kind of storybook telling and mystery with it. Was Eastward this year?
No,
Darn it.
that was like 2 years ago. Yeah,
wow,
that was 2
my Cocoon, that one happened this year.
Yes, Cocoon, I heard is
That's
also
a very
was
solid
very
game. It played strong at Game Fest. I'm not surprised it's getting lauded. It's a very tight package. Very good.
I love the fact that the puzzles, doesn't matter how hard the puzzles are, they gate you into that area to the point so it's like, oh, I literally can't backtrack and get lost and waste time. They're like, it's very smart that way. It's like, don't even go anywhere else. The puzzle solution is here. You don't need to go anywhere else. And it's like, oh, okay. That makes it so I don't waste any time, and I like that. Shannon, what else are you looking forward to? Any of these stick out to you?
Yeah, okay, so I just, like, there are just, like, 3 or 4 indies I need to play this year that, like, people have said are the best ones. 2 of them are not on here.
Well, then you gotta tell us so we can put them on here.
Yeah. No, how about, like, I come back to you with some more answers, but definitely put out Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood.
Cosmic Wheel
That's missing. Yeah, I just like witchy, cozy games with magic. So I think that this is one that has all those parts. Also, what's the other one? Vemba. Vemba is not on here either.
Venba. That is the cooking one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's South Asian cooking.
Oh, I saw a trailer for this. It looks neat.
Yeah, that one it was at Summer Games Fest. I don't think we played it, though.
No, I don't think we got the opportunity to.
Right. And I don't think... Yeah, I just can't really... it's just some other long indie name. But I will find all of them. Make sure you play them.
If you like a little bit of gothicness with your cozy games, Dredge.
Okay.
It's a fishing game where you're just piloting a boat and fishing, but you're kind like you're fishing up like weird like Cthulhu like fish, and there's something real strange going on, and you have to fish, but at nighttime creatures start appearing and you start seeing things, and you can literally just get killed by a giant tentacle.
That's so funny. Okay, I mean, maybe not funny, but
It's very funny.
that's great.
I know we
like that
we
one.
both beat it, but Coffee Talk 2. I think that's worth a mention.
That's just Coffee Talk just makes me happy. Any Coffee Talk, I'm so happy that came out. Oh, Coffee Talk.
Very cool. I don't know if this counts, but Hello Kitty Island Adventure has been one that people won't stop talking about.
That's so weird. I've actually heard people talking about Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Like, that's not a joke.
It's
Joel.
weird to hear them talking about it.
No, Joel, that's not a joke. People have been discussing it, like, kind of on the, like, this game's kind of pretty good. We should probably talk about this one. And then no one talks about it ever.
I was kind of overjoyed that they actually leaned into it and chose to name a game that. It tickled me. So
yeah, from South Park. It's a South Park joke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Apparently there's an alligator in that called Big Challenges. It's only been mentioned once in the whole Sanrio universe. Anyway.
Let's see. We got Meg's Monsters, which we had discussed on the show before. We played the demo for that. You are a child that falls into the monster world, and you are doing turn-based combat where you send out your monsters to fight for you. I heard that the entire story is really endearing. Like, it becomes like a really well-crafted and very cute story that's like very feel-good by the end, but also a little tear-jerking. So.
Oh yeah, that was a fun demo.
Oh.
I think they had a good
Meg's
premise
Monsters.
set up on that. It's not out yet, though, is it? No, it is out.
Yes, it's out.
Okay. Yeah, I should get around to that.
Let's see. Killer Frequency, I have purchased. I'm going to play that. That is the game where you are a radio host DJ, and there is a killer killing people, and they're calling into the radio, and you have to give them advice. So you have like a map, and they'll say like, "Do I turn left or right?" And you have to like tell them the right instructions, or else they'll die.
Yeah, I heard that one's really good too.
Yep. World of Horror I reviewed for the site. That one is interesting as a roguelike, where you just go through and solve stories, and the entire time you are slowly going crazy, and it's a weird one just because it's generally unsettling throughout, and I never thought of it as a roguelike. I just was like, oh god, I can't die, and then you die, and it's like, oh, you want to do it again? Like, no, I guess I'll try again. So World of Horror was another one. Let's see what else. There's Joel. What are you gonna try? Where's your head at?
I don't know. Maybe Ebenezer in the Invisible World. Remember that one?
Oh, were you actually interested in that one?
No.
But that's a good one.
It's such a really good game, looking game. Anyway, I think Viewfinder was a big one that is in my dApps. I mean, that was one where it really caught my eye at Game Fest, and it's just such a captivating looking experience when you play it. And I know you guys both talked glowingly about it, you and Daddy, so I know that's definitely one. Humanity is a very smart seeming puzzle game with almost a Lemmings style premise a bit that I found really fun, and it's just,
I mean, you like Tetris Effect as well, you know.
Yep, and made by the same people, right? Yeah. So that's definitely one here. Gosh, there was one game made by, I think it was Dontnod.
Yes,
they made a game
that
came out earlier this. Well, other than Jasant.
Oh yeah, they made Jasant, right? Yeah,
Harmony, the Fall Reverie.
Oh yeah, you know what? We did. Yeah, okay.
That was one that I've been meaning to get around to, so to add that to the list as well.
Oh, I think they sent me tarot cards from that game, but I didn't actually play it.
Let's see. My list is I just took a screenshot of a Post-it here. No, because I was talking to him about this earlier, and I was like, "This is what I'm looking at. This is my plan," and it was just like a Post-it. Let's see. I have Dave the Diver, Jasant, Killer Frequency. Getty was talking about Cassette Beast as being like a fun like Pokemon style game with like the chill beats to vibe to, you know, like that kind of aesthetic, and all the Pokemon are on cassettes. That sounds all right to me. And then Season Letter to the Future, that very much reminded me of Europa, and that one came out real early in the year, so that was the first one that I was like, oh man, I'm so into this. This seems like my style, and it was like February.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So. Yeah. There's a lot of good ones though. This was a very tight year. We've had 9 years of Shadows Forever, and we never played it. Like, no one played that, and I hear that's a really good like Metroidvania.
You really shouldn't air dirty laundry like that.
Yeah.
It'll be
never admit you have had a game for 10 years. Not played it.
Yeah, it's not like it just came out on Switch. That's fine. Joel, what is Moons of Darsalon? That was one I keep forgetting.
So, like almost an Amiga Commodore kind of aesthetic. You're just a space cadet walking through these empty, vast, like 2D platforming spaces, and the main goal is just to get to the end of your ship, but part of it is also rescuing some of your comrades that are stuck in like caves or hold up against robotic enemies and things like that. It's a very slow, methodical platformer, I guess you would describe it as, but it's little silly kind of tweets, or like the main character talks in Microsoft Sam voice almost a little bit, and it just harkens back to that kind of aesthetic and style of those really old school PC platforming games. I don't think it's for everyone though. I think it's a very specific thing for a specific kind of person.
Okay. Now, Shannon, with the comes the game of the year, is there like a scramble for you? Do you have like plans or things on your list? And we already kind of went over a lot of indie games, but I mean, just in general, what are you looking at on your list?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm looking more at like the AAA games. I think of all the games, Baldur's Gate is probably the funnest and has like cleared a lot of different award categories for us. And then Starfield, I personally thought was very interesting because you could keep replaying the game to get more meanings out of it. But a lot of people that I've been working with did not have a chance to put much time towards Starfield, so don't feel as strongly about it. And in terms of the indies that I was looking at, I really wanted Thirsty Series to be good, so I'm going to go and finish it and see what I think. I can't believe there's such haters against that game. And then I also, like I said, want to try Jusant and like some of these other ones that you've brought up, just to see them. But I personally, like, I don't think it's fair to like rank the indies against the AAA. So
oh yeah,
I don't know.
Absolutely not. I think that's why it's like we try to focus on these ones because it's like we all know where the AAAs are. We know how that goes.
What's the temperature for you all on Zelda?
It was fun. It was good. I made it like halfway. I didn't finish it because I ran out of time to like switch to another game. But I'm not like a big builder. I don't like to build things in Fortnite either. So, how about yourself?
It was a solid 7 out of 10. I mean,
the number keeps getting lower every time.
I mean, you can't deny it's a well-crafted game, right? And there's some really fascinating tools they give you. I just think they made changes that were the opposite of what I wanted. Like I didn't want necessarily that level of freedom in it for the tools. I kind of thought how the different power-ups were really rigid. You can only do this one thing with it, but then how you apply it can change, and how you see like speedrunners, how they would layer on the freeze mechanic, then use the chain mechanic and create this crazy Rube Goldberg contraption stuff. I thought was neat. And I could have just used a different world at this point. Like the Sky Islands felt kind of pointless to me as well, but
yeah, I will say this. You just reminded me. My favorite part of the game that I've like managed to figure out like how to climb through a rock golem. Mm-hmm. Like you can just rush through him as if. So I thought that was so fun. But once I figured that out, I was like, well, that took me so much time. I'm a little burnt out on this game. Let me take a break.
Yeah, it was an undertaking for sure.
All right, so that is our big Game of the Year chat, checking out the indies. We will be doing our normal Game of the Year lists as well as guest lists later in the year, but I just, check in because now we're going to start trying to knock out some of these older games and see what did we miss, what is still great. But that puts us to our one last thing. One last thing is one last sentence, one last statement, sending us into the weekend, you the listener, into the weekday. For me, I have my homework cut out for me. I have this list here, and sadly, I just want to play Spider-Man. Joel?
I've heard good things about that game. So we mentioned before a few times, you should play Jusant. I did. It's a very, very good game. Like it. You guys, do you remember the game Lonely Mountains Downhill, Alex?
Yes,
yeah,
I do.
It was that sort of downhill biking game where it could be a race, but it was really more about just trying to get down the paths without eating it. I get the same kind of vibe with Jusant. It's that like quiet, like you are challenging yourself, but you go at your own pace. You don't have to force it. You can sort of take it all in and enjoy the scenery a bit. And especially post Extra Life, it was been a very good wind down game from all that mess.
I heard somebody that had like over 200 hours in Lonely Mountain Downhill.
Wow,
that's crazy.
I mean, relax,
I almost said I'll believe. I almost said I'd believe it, but I stopped and was like, no, that's crazy.
Yeah, just not knowing anything about that game, just imagining someone going down a lonely mountain for 200 hours. I just think that's so funny.
It's just relaxing, man. Just relaxing.
Yeah.
Shannon, what is your last thoughts going into the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I already played all of Spider-Man 2. I thought it was a good game, solid. Not 10 out of 10 entirely, but so instead, I probably want to play Alan Wake 2. I want to see like what's been done. I already interviewed the creative director, and like he's like, this has never been done before. But like, what really is it? I don't want to take his word for it, and I want to see it for myself. So, yeah,
awesome. And that will be it for this week's Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on Twitter and X at Super GG Radio and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio. Thursdays we podcast, but Wednesday, Joel, are you going back to streaming?
We'll target next week. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Mondays I'm going to be monster hunting, and Tuesdays I'm back to Skater XL and chill. I spent probably about an hour remodding my Skater XL, so I should be ready to stream for that. Shannon, where can people find you? Because you are such a busy person, and you're also just like you wear so many hats. You do a lot of. You're always like in the industry doing something, and every once in a while I'll like catch something. I'm like, oh, Shannon's doing something else really cool. You like again, you just even like you said so many cool words in this podcast alone. You're like, oh, I just interviewed the creative director of Alan Wake 2. It's like, oh, come on, that's where can people find you?
Oh, thanks, Alex. Well, this year has been more scattered because, I was at the Washington Post up until, just things that were up in the air. And that's why I've been doing so many things. But thank you for being so gracious as a host. I've really enjoyed being on this podcast. Please just come to inverse.com. It's very simple to spell. I now give this email address out to, like, when I'm buying clothes at the clothing store, they're like, can you give me your newsletter or give email address? I'm like, just find me on Inverse. It's easier to spell than my actual email address. Yeah. So it's pretty simple. And we're going to try to cover as much gaming as possible. So you'll just keep seeing us. Oh, wait, you did ask me, like, what are my plans for covering this stuff? I'll be in Los Angeles, like, early December with all the other game developers and talking to them for some cool stories.
Awesome. Any chance we're going to see you at the Game Awards?
Yes, I will be there. Meet me at the JW Marriott after the awards.
That's awesome.
Oh, are you not coming?
We're not going this year. And they could say like we've been at all ever. No, we're not. We are not going. Joel, would we go? Joel, would we go to the Game Awards? I would go to the Game Awards.
Is there some way we can expense it to somebody? Because I did. Full disclosure, Shannon, we I feel like we almost infiltrated our way into Summer Game Fest. It felt very much like foreign territory for me. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
we're getting there now.
I'm sure you can do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was a great experience, and especially when you hear stories about what E3 was like and how like low key and relaxed this thing was, and such a smaller developer focused thing. It's a really cool thing.
Yeah, no, this year was actually so interesting. Well, you should feel honored because apparently they did not invite all the developers. Some of them had trouble getting in. So the fact that you were able to get in, you probably do it again.
Oh, hell yes. Yeah. And if you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com. And provide a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, everybody, for listening. GG, Joel.
Good game.
And GG, Shannon.
GG. Well played.
Good night, everybody.